Welcome to Learn Yourself. Let us learn today about the first law of motion, and this law is from the CBSE Standard 9 syllabus from the chapter Force and Laws of Motion. So here we are going to discuss the experiment of Galileo, and we are trying to prove or we are trying to understand the first law of motion. So here Galileo arranged this types of planes, and they all were inclined plane and their slopes were different. So here this is a left side and this is a right side. So he was releasing a marble from certain height on this inclined plane, and different result he was achieving for this different inclination of this four planes. So here gradually he has decreased the slope of the plane. So angle of the inclination has been decreased. What is the meaning of inclined plane? Is plane having a slope or which is not straight. So here inclined planes are there. From the left side we are releasing this marble and it is achieving some height. From the height we are releasing a marble and it is attaining some height, and that is due to this energy what it is getting from this travel. So let us understand three different results. That if the inclination of the planes on both the sides are equal, so we are talking about this first situation, that inclination of the plane are equal on both the side, on left side and on the right side, then marble will climb the same distance. From where we have left it, it will climb the same distance and it will achieve the height towards the other side, because their angle is same. Their angle of inclination is same. Now the second case, we are talking about these two planes. That angle of inclination gradually we are decreasing. We are decreasing the angle of inclination. We are keeping this angle as it is, we are keeping this height as it is, and we are decreasing the height little bit in these two cases. Then what will happen? That marble will travel further. So marble has achieved a same height over here in the first case, because angle of inclination was the same. So they were same in angle. Now here we are gradually decreasing the angle. So whatever height it is falling down, it does not need to achieve the same height. The angle of inclination has been decreased, so it will travel farther. It will travel farther in this direction. So right side it will travel farther because that slope has been reduced and the angle of the inclination has been reduced. So it will travel further until it reaches the original height. What is the meaning of original height? That from the height where we have left, so until it will achieve the original height, it will go on and on in that direction, and it will travel farther compared to the first situation. So here it will travel farther and it will achieve the original height from where we have dropped it. Now the last case where we have made this plane horizontal, that we are dropping it from the certain height and then it will roll it over the floor or over the horizontal plane. So right side plane were made horizontal, then marble will travel forever. So it will travel forever in trying to reach the same height from where we have dropped it, by which it is released. So it will travel on and on and on in that right side. But this will not happen in practical situation because friction force will be applicable to that. And eventually this marble will stop. But this marble will travel farthest compared to all the above marbles. Right? In this situation it will travel more distance. And in ideal situation, if there is no unbalanced force or if there is no friction force, then this marble will travel forever in the right side. So from this experiment, let us conclude our first law of motion statement, that if any object is moving in one particular direction or if it is at the resting position, then they both will continue to do so until the unbalanced force will applicable to them. Right? Let us understand this statement. This is our statement for the first law of motion, that an object remains in the state of rest or of uniform motion. Imagine one ball is lying over here and it is at the resting position. One ball is continuously moving. So they both will continue to do so. That one is at the resting position, so it will lie there only. The other one is in the motion, so it will keep on doing so until in a straight line unless compelled to change. Now why they have written here straight line? Because if there is a slope here, imagine this situation that it is moving and it is in the slope. It is in the inclined plane, that at one position it is going to stop. It cannot go further as it is moving on the slope. So we are not arguing here for this kind of situation. So that's why we have to write this straight line. Motion in a straight line, not on a slope. Either if it is an inclined plane like this or it is an inclined plane like this, that it is going down below the slope or it is going up above the slope. So we are not arguing for both of this situation. We are talking about the situation where there is a motion in the straight line. So object remain in the state of rest or it is in the moving condition or of a uniform motion. It is uniform motion. So that also means that we are not increasing or decreasing its velocity. Its motion is uniform in a straight line. So there is no slope over here. Unless compelled to change the state, unless we are applying a force, unless we are compelling it to stop or we are compelling this ball and pushing it to go forward. So unless compelled to change the state by an applied force, if we are applying unbalanced force to these two balls, then only they will change their state. Moving state or resting state. They can change it only if we are applying force. Otherwise, without force, they will continue to do so, that it will remain in the motion and it will remain in its resting position. So this is the statement of the first law of motion. Now, why any object will resist a change? That if any object is moving in particular direction or object is standing still, then why they are resist a change? They are resist a change because of their body's inertia. So let us learn a new term, that is inertia. Now let us understand what is inertia. All objects resist a change in their state of motion. So if a ball is moving, then it will resist a change. And we have seen this in first law of motion, that we have seen this in first law of motion, that if we are dropping a marble from certain height and if it is rolling on horizontal plane, then it will go on and on and on in this direction forever. But it will stop in between practically because of the friction force. Friction force is applicable on this marble on opposite direction, and because of the friction force it will stop after some time. But if there is no friction force and if there is no unbalanced force acting upon them, then it will travel in this direction forever. So that is what we are discussing here, that if object is in a motion, then it will keep on moving, and if object is at resting position, then it will lie there only until the unbalanced force will act upon them. The tendency of undisturbed object means If it is lying there only, then we are not disturbing them. That is undisturbed object. And if it is moving, then we are not stopping them. To stay at rest or to keep moving. This is applicable to both of the object. If it is lying there or if it is moving. So it is applicable to both of the object which are in the motion or which are lying as it is. With the same velocity is called inertia. So if it is moving, then it will keep on moving in the same direction with the same velocity in ideal situation. So that is happening because of the inertia. First law of motion is also known as law of inertia. We have seen in the first law of motion that if the object is moving in certain direction or the object is lying at one place, then until we are applying unbalanced force upon them, they will keep on doing whatever they are doing. If they are moving, they will keep on moving. If they are staying at one place, then they will be there until the unbalanced force will act upon them. So same thing we are discussing here, and this is happening because of the inertia. All objects are having inertia and this is happening because of that. So concept of inertia and concept of first law of motion is same, and because of that the first law of motion is also known as law of inertia. Whatever first law of motion is explaining to us is happening because of the inertia. So that's why law of motion is also known as law of inertia. Now let us understand some of the example which clearly show us that this is happening because of the inertia which is lying along with the object. Now let us understand one example which will show us what is body's inertia. Car is moving and after sudden application of brakes, what will happen? That we are sitting in the car is moving with certain velocity, and at some point we are applying a sudden brake or the driver is applying sudden brake. What will happen? We will go forward and by ourselves we are coming back. But by going forward is not our wish, or we are not doing that. It automatically happens. Why it happens automatically? Because car was in the motion. When car was moving in one direction, car was moving with certain velocity. Now when it applies sudden brake, then car will stop. Car will stop, but our body's inertia is still moving. As per our body's inertia, our body is in a motion. Yes, it is along with the car, but our body and car is not the same object. They both are different objects. So when car stops, because of our body's inertia, we are in the motion and we will not stop. By sudden brake, car will stop, but because of our body's inertia, which is already in the motion, which will not stop. So we will go forward and by ourselves we are coming back. Going forward is happening automatically and we are trying to come back because we will not get hurt. And this is the reason why we are wearing safety belts in our car. So why we are wearing safety belts? So if in case we are applying or driver is applying sudden brake, then if we cannot control ourselves, then we may dash to car windscreen. It should not happen, or to avoid this situation we are wearing a safety belt so that that safety belt will keep us safe in this dangerous situation. That when a driver is applying sudden brake, we will not fall at the front or we will not dash our head at the front seat or to the windscreen. So why our body is going forward? Because of our body's inertia. When car was moving, our body was also moving along with the car. But by the application of sudden brake, car will stop, but our body's inertia is still in the motion. So it will keep on doing the same thing until we will stop our body intentionally and we are coming back. So this is the reason why we are falling at the front by the application of sudden brake. Now let us think of opposite example, that you are standing in a bus and suddenly bus has started to move. Bus was at resting position. This was the situation when it was in motion and suddenly it is coming at the resting position or it is slowing down. This is the first example. Second example we are discussing, that is, this is a bus and bus is at the resting position and passenger or we are standing in a bus. We are standing in a bus, we are holding a rod and we are standing. So when bus is at the resting position and suddenly start moving, suddenly it is coming in the motion. So what will happen? Our body's inertia was at the resting position, our body was at the resting position. Bus has started to move but our body has not started to move. So what will happen? That we will fall back, because bus is moving forward but our body will stay there only. So bus will move, our body will be there, so we will fall backward. And intentionally we will hold our legs stiff on the ground and we are trying to stay on our position. We are trying to stand firmly on the ground. And if we are not doing that, then we may fall backward. Not the front, we will fall backward. Why? Because bus is moving but our body will remain over there only because of our resting position, because of our body's inertia was at resting position. So these two are completely opposite example. That when car is moving, our body was also moving, car stops, vehicle stops but our body will not stop, so we will fall at the front. Here, vehicle is at the resting position, our body was also at the resting position and suddenly vehicle will start but body was at the resting position. So we will fall backward. So you have to remember here that when the body will move front and when the body will fall backward. You understand the concept and think about a practical situation, so it is very easy to frame your sentence and very easy to write the answer. That whatever vehicle is doing, the body is doing opposite and because of its inertia, it may fall at the front or it may fall at the back. Now inertia is always associated with object's mass. Heavier the object, larger the inertia. So if object is heavy, then its measure of inertia is more or its inertia is more. So whenever we are calculating inertia or when we are taking a measure of inertia, we have to always keep in mind a mass of that particular object. For example, 1 rupee coin and 5 rupee coin. So whose inertia will be more? Obviously 5 rupee coin's inertia is more because it is bigger, its mass is more. When any train or a cart are colliding with each other, then who will have more effect of this collision or whose part will break? Then obviously carts, because train is big, its inertia is more, whereas cart is smaller and its inertia is less. So cart will get maximum destruction by this collision. So likewise, all the heavier objects are having more inertia, whereas small object, lighter objects are having less inertia. With this, let us collect our thoughts about inertia. So inertia is a natural tendency. So we cannot add inertia, it will be always there along with the object and it is natural tendency. It is a natural tendency of an object to resist a change. Resist a change means they are in any situation, they will resist all the change from that in its state of motion or of a rest. So they are in either of this situation, they will resist a change and that happens because of their inertia and it is naturally occurring. This inertia tendency is a natural tendency of any object. The mass of an object is a measure of its inertia. Heavier the object, its inertia will be more. So mass of an object is measure of its inertia. So how to measure inertia? Heavier the object, the inertia will be more. So this was all about first law of motion and inertia and measure of inertia. If you have any doubt regarding topic, you can send me at my email address, or you can write it down in a comment box. Don't forget to subscribe, learn yourself. In next video, we are going to study about second law of motion. So I'll see you in next video. Till then, keep learning, keep sharing.